Well, lovely to catch up with you, Laura. Looking ahead to Tokyo, but of course, you're no stranger to the Paralympics, but a completely different sport. Let's talk about this journey.
Yeah, it's changed a little bit since Rio. I was never intending to stop athletics or change sports, but kind of a couple of years past Rio, I was approached by para canoe, and for me, I saw para canoe, and I'd only ever seen the posters of people in wheelchairs, so just presumed it was, I thought, oh, you don't really use your legs, so it's mainly about like kind of trunk impairments. So never really even considered it. Like I did, kayaking fun and on holiday and things like that. And they approached me and were like, "Oh, we're looking for someone like with your disability. We know kind of your numbers in the gym, like that. We think you're strong. And would you give it a go?" And I kind of was like, "Oh no, I love athletics." And then I think the draw of exactly my situation of how I got into disability sport in the first place, of kind of just saying yes to things because you never know what might happen, kind of came along. And also with the fact of, in athletics, I was getting better every year, but I compete against the blades. So in athletics, I was the kind of the bottom end of my category, kind of at disadvantage, whereas canoe, I would have been kind of up to the top end of the category of where my disability sat. So that kind of draw of every year I was getting faster, but then also the blades would kind of get new technology and they would get a massive jump. That, there was loads of athletes that had been around for a while getting big jumps. So it was kind of like I'd always come, it's like a really rubbish stat, I'd always come in the worlds of Paralympics, I'd never come lower than fifth, but never come higher than fourth either. So it was kind of that draw of actually, like, maybe I should give it a go just to see. Like, it would be nice to be, if I was at the top end of the category, at least if I wasn't good enough, I just wasn't good enough. It wasn't anything to do with my disability as such. So yeah, gave it a go. Didn't expect to be any good, and yeah, I wasn't that fast at the start, but picked it up surprisingly quickly, and yeah, got better than expected.
It's a bit of an understatement. Talk about a meteoric rise. I've done my research, okay? Instant impact after an incredible debut season in 2019. Could you quite believe how it just came together so quickly? Whoever scouted you, they obviously saw your potential and realised we're onto something here.
Yeah, I think that's beauty. Like Colin, who's actually my coach and one of the coaches for British canoeing, was the one that kind of talent spotted me, and he'd already spoken to the head coach of athletics, and they'd had conversations, so he had an idea of what a good athlete in canoe would be. So yeah, it was, like as I say, it wasn't kind of straight away. I think you have to be competitive. You kind of got to be, well, records keep changing, but you kind of have to be under 50 seconds to be competitive. And my first kind of time trials, I was 72 seconds. So it wasn't like I was suddenly really good in the boat, but I think I had those underlying like fitness, strength principles. Even in the gym, I didn't do loads of upper body with athletics, but I still was kind of hitting some decent numbers in the gym without kind of have done all that training. So that was kind of an indicator that I was kind of already had that strength. And it wasn't like I was starting as an untrained athlete, like I was training full time for athletics. So I had that strength, I had the fitness. And I do think the real beauty of it was I could learn from an amazing, like one of the best coaches in the world from scratch, which is a real beauty in para sport that you don't always get. Like normally you can enable the sport when you're younger, you kind of start off, grassroots, they could be amazing coaches or whatever, but you kind of have to change through different coaching pathways. Whereas I was a complete green athlete with I didn't know anything about technique, but I also had no bad habits. So I kind of learned from scratch. So it was like from that 72 seconds, I think every week I was kind of getting a second or two faster. And that wasn't that I was suddenly getting fitter. It was that there's so much to the technique that I was kind of like, right, well, you tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I am a bit of a sponge and I like to learn, and I like to learn quickly. And I kind of think in my head, I'm like, right, they want me to do this. So how do I get my body to do this? And it was that fun learning process that by Christmas, I'd got under kind of my first time under 60 seconds. So I'd kind of taken 12 seconds off since, from October to Christmas. And it kind of then, went from there. And the first time I went under 50 seconds was actually in our selection races to go to the World Championships. And then I was like, right, I can be really competitive now. But I definitely didn't expect to come away with, medals from the World Championships and the European Championships in my first year. But it was really nice to be in a race, know that I'm competitive, and especially it was the opposite of athletics. In athletics, I always had to get a good start, and then the minute I came upright, I was at disadvantage, and so everyone would come past me, and I just have to try and let as few people as possible come past me. Whereas canoeing, like, I don't have the best start. I don't have that kind of strength or work out how to use my leg drive yet in the start. But actually, it was really nice. The last bit, I wasn't held, but I can fight at the end. Yeah. Whereas that was quite hard in athletics against the blades. Like, I could fight as much as I want, but it was, you know, a losing battle. Whereas I really like that last like 50 meters where you are emptying the tank, and I feel like I can fight in those races, and I think that gave me the edge at the champs.
You've represented Wales at hockey, you've been a Paralympian in athletics, now a para canoe athlete. How are you enjoying this kind of time of your sporting career as we get ever closer to Tokyo?
Yeah, it's really good. It's in some ways, I'm kind of like, obviously in some sports it'd be great to have done it, you know, your whole life in one sport and build up to it. But especially my kind of, as you say, I was in hockey before. I didn't even know until under 12 like that I was eligible for para sport, and I still love hockey. I still coach hockey at my local school. It'll always kind of be a big part of my life. And I am a sports geek. I'm not like, right, this is the one sport I love, I don't care about anything else. I love everything about sport. So for me, it's been great to like experience international level on 3 different sports. I'm not planning on changing any
you got a big reveal for us.
This is it. This is it. But I say, like, it is in Paralympic sport, like, you say you can be the top end in the category in one sport and the bottom end in another. I was just lucky in athletics that I was still competitive, but there were only 3 of us that were out blades in the whole of the world. So yeah, it's that great opportunity, and to be able to go in another sport and to get on that plane to Tokyo is really special, like regardless of whether it had been, you know, in athletics or canoe. Just to get on that Paralympics GB team is something special, and to go in there knowing you obviously don't know what the rest of the world are capable of. There's a couple of people that haven't even raced in 2 years, so, you know, the current world champion herself hasn't raced, so you don't know what the outcome might be. But knowing that I've got that chance, like, I know I'm up there, and I understand, like, I know I can fight in those races when it is tough. It's really nice to go in there knowing I've got a shot.
So how are preparations going then as we get ever closer to the games?
Yeah, really well. It speaks to me on the day where it's like we've had like 2 really heavy weeks, and this morning I was just like, oh my god, I'm so exhausted, because we're just trying to change into our like speed stuff again. So at the moment I'm just knackered, but it is good. This is the time, you know, 6 weeks out, where we're just starting to like ease off onto the speed stuff now. So touch wood, it's been going really well. Obviously there's still ups and downs, you have little niggles here and there, but I'm really confident in like how I race now, and rather than kind of just hoping for the best and going for 200, I kind of have a bit more of a process in my head, and feel confident in myself. I just feel knackered at the moment, but I trust, even from athletics and hockey, I love a taper. Everyone loves a taper, but I really love a taper where that's that 1 week of the year where you actually feel fresh. So I have that trust, and it's really nice at British Canoe. As I say, we have amazing coaches, so we have complete trust in our coaches that, you know, we'll time it right, and be in the best shape possible come Tokyo.
And Laura, anyone watching this are young aspiring athletes. You know, obviously it's been a really quick and impressive journey for you in terms of para canoeing. But what would you say to our youngsters in Wales who perhaps are listening to you, totally inspired by your story, and who wouldn't, and think, actually, I want to do para canoeing? I mean, what has it brought to you, especially at this time of your career?
Oh, I definitely think, like, try it. Say, as I said, like, the reason I've kind of got in the position I am today is I've just said yes to things, and that's a huge like thing I believe in. Is, you know, sometimes I say yes to things and it doesn't pay off, but most of the time you kind of either learn something or you gain something from it, and that's what's happening in all of my career. And I say, like, I've grown up loving sport, and you don't have to be, you know, the best straight away. Even though canoe, it's then been quite a steep curve, but I still wasn't the best when I started, and I just want to learn. So if you want to learn, like, whether you want to do it recreationally or all the way up to, you know, like a high level, just wanting to learn and wanting to have fun and enjoying it. And if you enjoy it and want to give it a go, just, yeah, I think I love all sports, but I think with canoeing and the sprint kayaking, like, it's just so enjoyable getting out in the water. Even, you know, this pandemic has shown the amount of people that realize, you know, the importance of mental health and being outside, but also being outside and being near water is like a huge boost to mental health. And just, you know, being out there, even in those kind of grim sessions in the middle of winter, when, you know, you can't feel your fingers, it's still like enjoyable. It's still nice. You're outside and you're with other people. Like, I know we compete on our own, but the whole rest of the time we're in a training group. So I've got like kind of my best friends and my training partners with me every day. So it's a real sociable sport. And just, yeah, as I say, go and give it a go. And you never know. You absolutely never know.
Well, from your perspective, I know how determined you are. You've got that steely grit and determination, and no doubt you can't wait to get to Tokyo. And we will be rooting for you here at Disability Sport Wales. We wish you all the best. Go and do it for us, girl. We can't wait to see how you perform in Japan. Fingers crossed. Well done, you.
Fingers crossed. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully we'll get out there in one piece and yeah, put it on a show.